Hello, and welcome to Eppendorf Lab Channel, your home for experts and knowledge live. I'm Matthew Yerkevich, a marketing manager for Eppendorf SE here in Hamburg, Germany. We're all very excited to have you here joining us for our latest installment in our series of webinars on digitalization, entitled Research Documentation in the Digital Age. In this webinar, we would like to highlight the different Eppendorf solutions that could help you to pick the right tool for you and your future digital lab. I'm excited to welcome our guest presenter today, Katharina Besler, Application and Digitalization Specialist at Eppendorf SE, who has made it her mission to drive the digitalization of laboratories to increase efficiency and reproducibility and enable scientists to spend more time on what is most important, their research. Hello, Katharina. It's great to have you here today. How are you?
Hi, Matthew. I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad that you're here today with us. Now, before Katharina gets started, I would like to take a moment to direct your attention to the interactive portion of Eppendorf Lab Channel. If you look to the right of the screen, you're going to see a chat window. Feel free to use this space for any comments, questions, or reactions you might have. One of our application Eppendorf experts is monitoring the chat and ready to help. After the presentation is completed, we will have a question and answer period where Katharina can address any questions you may have. You can also message us for information about demos and more in-depth conversations. Now, without further ado, I'd like to hand over the reins to Ms. Katharina Besler. Katharina, the stage is yours.
Brilliant. Thank you, Matthew. So first of all, thank you all for joining the webinar today, in which I would like to warm you up a little in the terms of research documentation in digital age and give you an overview of digital lab solutions, which might help you to optimize your data management. So I will skip this part. And so at the end of this webinar, you will have more reasons to switch or to digitalize your laboratory. You will be able to differentiate between an ELN and the LIMS, know what their main features and limitations are, and hopefully you will feeling motivated to start your own digital journey. So, but why should you digitalize your laboratory? So the reasons pretty much align with the answers we got from our customers when we asked them why they are interested in digital solutions and what exactly they wish to improve in their everyday life. So what we hear quite often from our customers, and maybe you can relate to this, are answers like, I would like to finally get rid of paper-based protocols and experiment documentation, which is very inconvenient and error-prone. Or I would like to share my protocols and data easily with my collaboration partners, have a better overview and quick access to my data at any time, increase reproducibility, increase reproductivity, while decreasing the documentation effort and the individual variability in my lab. So furthermore, customers also mentioned that they would like to keep all important data centralized in one place. So, but let's first have a look into everyday lab life and check where in the lab does documentation play a role and where do we produce all the data. So the core processes of a laboratory, they include the design of an experiment, the execution, and the analysis of the workflows. So but let's start in the beginning. First of all, you will have to design or create a comprehensive protocol or workflow in which you define material, the consumables which you would like to use or you have to use, and determine the sample and the layout. So during the execution, you will have to follow your design protocol, note deviations during the executions, and supplement this data with further material information like the lot number or the kit you have used and the used devices. So at the end of an execution, data is produced and has to be important, mainly or in most cases with one of many USB sticks and analyzed on the individual computer using multiple softwares before you can document your results. So, and besides that, as a scientist, I mean, and here I'm talking from my own experience also, you have also to make sure that your devices are maintained on time, that you always know where you can find your samples, and that you have always enough material to be able to perform an experiment on the other day. So to be able to work successfully in the lab and to reproduce data and experiments, a continuous documentation and review of all of these processes is needed. However, the documentation in many laboratories, including also all the ones I was ever working at, is still based on paper. So, and even though all of my former colleagues and I used Word and also Excel sheets, at the end, every protocol and the results were printed, cut to size, and glued into laboratory notebook and annotated manually. So, which is very time consuming, error prone, and most of all makes the data very hard to retrieve and overview. But the good thing is that there are already many solutions out there that might help you to increase your efficiency, reproducibility, and productivity in your lab and your daily lab work. So, and the two most common ones on the market are known under the abbreviations ELN and LIMS. So let's start with an ELN first. So ELN stands for Electronic Laboratory Notebook. And as the name already implies, an ELN is a software which was designed to replace your laboratory notebook, allowing you to document, retrieve, share, and permanently store electronic scientific data in a highly flexible way while meeting the regulatory and scientific requirements. So if you are working in a research and development laboratory with constantly changing workflows and procedures, an ELN is most likely a very good solution for you. So, however, one of the biggest challenges in implementing an ELN is choosing the right one from more than 90 active ELN vendors. But fortunately, the ELNs vary in the scientific areas they cover and also the features they offer. So, meaning that if you know which features you are interested in, you can already significantly narrow down the choices. And that is why I would like to give you an overview of the basic ELN features. So in terms of user management, there are ELNs which are designed for the individual use and others that allow research teams, whole facilities, or even global companies to work on the same environment. So in this case, you should consider to search for ELNs with configurable user roles that can be linked to specific user rights, which will allow you then to, on the one hand, protect certain data, but also to share your data with colleagues. So in regard to data creation and management, most of the ELN allow free-form data entry and spreadsheet tools, and fewer, however, offer you the possibility to draw or create also templates. So before starting looking for an ELN, it is also helpful to think of the data formats you would like to import or export into or from your ELN, and how you would like to organize your data. Do you need customizable files, or do you want also to create subfiles? So you should question yourself how you would like to work with your ELN. So, and the most important feature of an ELN are the search functions. So in addition to full text search, most products offer you advanced search filter options, or also allow you to set tags and labels and filter for them. So some ELNs, which are specific to only one scientific field, may also offer you like search functions that allow you to look for chemical structures, for example. So if you are a company or in a university that are working under strict policies or in an ISO certified environment, you have to ensure that your chosen ELN is compliant with the respective guidelines and regulations. And to ensure evidentiary value, many ELNs have already implemented features like the e-signature, timestamps, versioning, and authentications, as well as an audit trail. So I know that dealing with the external and the internal regulations is always demanding and challenging, but I would recommend you to get yourself some input in this regard quite early, because the policies of your institute or company will also define whether you are only able to choose between an ELN that offers the deployment and the data storage on your own software, or whether you are able to choose cloud-based solutions, which are currently the most represented ones. So it's always also always good to know, if you choose a cloud solution, about the backup frequencies and to know your cloud provider. So the ability to collaborate has become increasingly important in the recent years. And therefore, also some providers offer the possibility of granting access permissions to others, integrating third-party software, or exchange, allow you to exchange your information with an entire ELN community. So in addition, there was a high demand for laboratory inventory or sample management functions, which some vendors already offer with their solution. In order to find the right ELN for your laboratory, you could start with answering the following questions. Like, who will be working with the ELN? And which features are most important to your organization and the people who will work with the ELN? You should be aware of your regulatory requirements and make sure to know which regulations and requirements you have to follow. And what's also an important fact is how big is your budget? After you have selected your favorites ELNs, you can request, in most cases, a demo and test them for several weeks. All right, so I hope you are still with me. And because now we are moving on to the intimidating but also fascinating word of LIMS. So what does LIMS stand for? LIMS stands for Laboratory Information Management System, and it describes a software that was designed to help you to process your data, manage laboratory processes, track operations and results in order to ensure efficient performance and secure and facilitate data accessibility by reducing manual tasks. So LIMS systems have been introduced to automate routine work and are a suitable solution for you if you work in the manufacturing industry, service or contract laboratories, or in a small extent, LIMS are also focusing on research laboratories if they have a high amount of routine workflows. So to get a better idea of the function of an LIMS system, let's pretend for a while that we are working in a service laboratory, which is offering the examination of water or blood samples. So on the first, one of the first actions will be to accept an examination order. So in this case, the LIMS system might help you with the order management and the customer management, allowing you to create quotations, orders, invoices, and to manage price lists with just a few clicks. So when the sample is received and accepted, the LIMS system, the LIMS, will force you to assign persistent sample identifiers and set the scope of the testing before the LIMS distributes the tests automatically to the right persons, or to the integrated devices. And during the sample processing, the system can guide you through the whole execution, save and incorporate data directly from used devices, and track the consumption of consumables and regions as part of an inventory management. So to facilitate the control and the evaluation of results, also here the LIMS system supports you in the analysis by performing automated calculations. It's able to check for set points or comparing results to reference databases, and offering you a release system to which you can use to easily release your results directly to your customer, for example, or to other external laboratories. So this LIMS system has a broad range of functionalities in order to simplify and coordinate processes from the administration, the execution, to the analysis and the adjustment of processes. So LIMS systems are usually tailored to the needs of a company and are also often integrated into already existing solutions and processes. So in this way, the LIMS system can also serve as a central data provider for many other processes in the company and transmit and receive data from all relevant units of the company. So now I would like to summarize everything I've shown you so far. So at this point, we can say that an ELN is primarily designed as a tool for the R&D laboratories with little routine work. And the biggest benefit of an ELN is its flexibility, which allows it to adapt and document ever-changing workflows. So one disadvantage of an ELN is that similar to its paper-based counterpart, they also need to be maintained and that they are not free from human errors. Furthermore, classical ELNs like device integration and the ability to incorporate structured data. So on the other hand, the LIMS is more overused in laboratories with a high amount of routine procedures, offering full integration of devices and software systems, allowing you to seamless track your samples and related data. And LIMS is known or reduces human errors by reducing the manual tasks. So however, since LIMS are usually tailored to the needs of a company, they are accompanied by a long implementation process and the involvement of IT experts. So there's a high investment of money and time is needed to incorporate a LIMS system. So additionally, they are known to be inflexible and also difficult to adapt to new or changed workflows. However, the current market trends, they show that some LIMS move towards more dynamic solutions while integrating, for example, an ELN. On the other hand, some ELNs integrate more structured elements, allowing the integration of devices or adding inventory and sample management features. And here is the goal to offer a single solution to the customer, which meets all of the requirements of a fully digitalized laboratory. So at this point, I would like to conclude also that there are many solutions out there. And the main question is, what do you need? So in additionally, I would like also that you keep in mind that the establishment of a digital solution is a central or a big project, and it might also help you to include the perspectives and wishes of employees with different roles to be able to find the most suitable product for your organization, which you can use in the long term. Also here at Eppendorf, we are extensively working on digital solutions and released a platform called Visionize Lab Suite last year, which is intended to improve sample security, device maintenance, audit preparation, and device documentation. But what I would like to show you is the product the group I'm a part of is currently developing. And so we are developing an additional digital service called the Experiment Management, which will enable you to digitalize your experiments by covering the creation of reusable and highly adaptable protocols and workflows, guiding you step by step through your experiment and offering you an automatically generated documentation, which is enriched with data from connected devices, as well as offering you a full traceability of samples, regions, errors, and deviations of your protocol. But before I tell you more about it, I would rather give you a little insight into the experiment management by showing you a short video. So see you in 5 minutes for the last slide.
You spend hours working at your lab bench and are expected to produce results that are optimized, reproducible, and error-free. Your work and your time are valuable, but handling handwritten protocols can often result in loss of reproducibility. Though you are diligent and careful, paper documentation can lead to unnecessary errors and wasted efforts. Digitalize Lab Suite Experiment Management Service improves your lab efficiency with experiment documentation that prioritizes productivity and reproducibility from design to optimization. The Protocols and Workflows application is part of the Experiment Management Service of Digitalize Lab Suite, which provides the option to create and manage protocols and workflows and plan experiments. A protocol contains a list of laboratory instructions which will be created in the protocol editor. On the left-hand side, you will find the building blocks, which are the smallest elements used to build a protocol. In the upper section, metadata of the protocol will be entered. Below, you will find the protocol canvas. And on the right-hand side, you will find the workbench, where all materials and labwares used during the protocol design will be automatically tracked. These materials or labware bricks can be reused and renamed at any time. Complete the protocol metadata section by selecting a unique protocol title, select a protocol type which categorizes the different protocols, and fill out remaining fields if required. Add and arrange building blocks on the canvas by drag and drop. Set the building block parameters by entering a text, selecting units from the drop-down, or entering a material in the input text boxes. Labware and sample labels can be customized and edited throughout the protocol creation process. For each building block, additional optional parameters are available. Materials are defined as all substances which are utilized in the respective protocol, whereas labware is created by using a dedicated building block indicated by the vessel icon behind the name. The protocol input is predefined by the initial sample input. This sample can be renamed. The protocol outputs are defined by drag and drop of existing labware bricks into the corresponding section on the workbench. Protocols without defined outputs cannot be connected in a workflow. To delete a building block, drag it over the trash can icon. To confirm your entries, click Save. An automated protocol validation is performed to prevent erroneous entries. In case an error is detected, a message is displayed. You can save the protocol anyway, but only valid protocols can be used for further processing. The saved protocol is displayed in the protocol library under the selected protocol type. An icon will indicate if the protocol is not valid and contains deviations. Existing protocols can be adjusted and multiplied easily by using Edit or Copy function, which opens the protocol editor automatically. This ensures high reusability and adaptability of protocols. The modular and intuitive workflow designer enables the user to create workflows quickly. A workflow consists of at least one protocol that is dragged into the workflow canvas. The workflow title and output are defined in the metadata at the top. In case the workflow consists of more than one protocol, the protocol inputs and outputs need to be connected. Upon clicking on the protocol output, an active connection can be drawn between the input element of the successive protocol. The connection will be validated automatically. To confirm your entries, click Save. Once the workflow is valid, an experiment can be planned by clicking on Plan Experiment. The experiment planning editor opens. Enter a unique experiment name and define the number of samples that should be processed. The protocol instruction will scale automatically with the number of samples. In addition, the layout pattern of each labware can be planned individually with default or custom layouts. To confirm your entries, click Plan Experiment. A final consistency check is performed and a message will confirm successful planning of the experiment. The experiment will be moved to the experiment execution application.
Hi, so I hope you are now interested also to see more and to see more about the other features we can offer so far or developed so far, because we would like to show you the full scope of the experiment management service. And we would be very happy if you join us as a beta tester, since we are always looking for feedback to make sure that we design something that really helps you. So if you are interested in test driving our new digital solution and share your feedback with us, you can contact us directly via visionize.news@eppendorf.com or visit the homepage and request a demo through one of the buttons over there. So, and with this, I would like to thank you, and I hope I could give you some more insights into the digital solutions, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
Well, thank you very much, Katarina. That was a wonderful presentation. I'm sure we learned a lot. I have a couple questions that we wanted to ask. The first one is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using a cloud-based solution?
All right. So the main advantages of a cloud-based solution is that you don't need separate IT structures. So meaning that there will be no setup, administration, or maintenance required from your side. So which will save you a lot of costs for hardware, but also costs for IT experts. And another benefit of a cloud-based solution is that you can access your data from everywhere, anytime, as long as you have a connection to the internet, of course. So you will have the benefit of a higher frequency of software updates. So which include bug fixes, and you'll be also the features are faster released on a cloud-based solution. So, however, on the downside of a public cloud, the downside of a public cloud is that you are dependent on a reliable internet connection, and that in terms of data and data security and privacy, you're also completely relied on your cloud provider. So if you also choose an public cloud as your cloud solution, you should also know that public cloud means that your data is stored on a server next to the data of other companies, for example, even though this data is very clearly separated and also secured by several measurements. So some of the companies prefer not to choose such kind of solution, and at this case, they would rather go for a private cloud, for example, where they can store the data only on one server. But in general, if you choose also a cloud provider or a system, a solution which works with a big cloud provider like Amazon or Microsoft Azure, you can easily benefit from the flexibility, the scalability of a cloud solution, and which makes it just really easy to implement maintain because you're not maintaining it, and also to upscale. Yeah. So I hope this answers your question.
I think that's a very thorough answer. The next question we have from the audience was, does experiment management also offer the integration of third-party devices?
That's also a very good question. So of course, as a manufacturer of devices, and we would like, the first step was to incorporate and integrate our own devices. But however, besides the Eppendorf devices, Visionize is, with the Visionize Sense, we are also able to integrate freezers, for example, or incubators from third-party companies into our solutions. And of course, if we are looking to the future, and what we would like also, we would like to give you a platform which is which takes over like the central part of your central in your company and or in your laboratory. And for this, we would need also integration of third-party devices for sure. And that's why I would say, like, yeah, that we are definitely working on it for the future.
All right. And I got one more question. How can I become a beta tester, and how will it work?
So to become a beta tester, we will be very happy about it. to mention it here once more. You contact us via this visionize.news@eppendorf.com email, or you can contact me also directly. My email address will be Besler, so it's my last name, .k@eppendorf.de. So you can contact us directly, or as I mentioned before, can go to our website and click the request a demo button, because then you are automatically in our system, and we can offer you a demo first. And then if you still are interested in testing the solution, we would set a date for an onboarding session where we would like to show you the features in more detail so that you have a good start. We will provide you applicative support through all of this the time, so you will have this software free of charge for at least 6 to 8 weeks. And at the end, we will just be happy to get your feedback, so that we know which strings we have to pull and to adjust to offer a solution which is helping you at the end in the laboratory.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Katarina, for your presentation. It was great to learn so much about digitalization and documentation in the digital age.
Thank you also for having me here, and have a nice day.
Well, thank you, and you have a nice day as well. Now, to learn more about Visionize and the Eppendorf digital future, visit eppendorf.com/visionize. Find out about requesting a demo, becoming a test driver, and how Eppendorf and Visionize are your lab software solution for effective lab and maintenance management. One platform offering you the options and tools you need in the modern lab. Now, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at our next broadcast on March 22nd. It will be our 5th installment in our digitalization series, How to Go Green and Digitalize Your Lab. You can go to eppendorf.com/lab channel to save the date in your calendar. If you miss out on this broadcast or any of our past events, you can also view all our previous episodes on demand at eppendorf.com/lab channel. Watch them on your own time and use the links to contact the experts with questions, comments, or reactions. On behalf of Katarina and everyone else here at Eppendorf Lab Channel, thank you for taking the time out of your valuable day to join us. And until we see you again, stay safe and have a wonderful day.